Good day and welcome back to another cubic function lesson with Mr. Simons. We're still on worksheet 1,13 foundation practice. Right, and now we're doing problems number 6 to 8 of your worksheet. And now we are testing function notation. Right, so we'll still be identifying intercepts, but we're looking at the third variant or how we vary these exam questions. Right, basically easy, but yeah, we can catch you out with English if you are not aware of all the different English words we use to test the equation or notation. So again, this I've explained in the previous x-intercepts, y-intercepts, but in short, x-intercept, y must be 0, y-intercept, x must be 0. The trigger words explained in the previous videos. Alright? So, given f of x equal ax cubed plus bx squared minus cx minus 16, write down the coordinates of the y-intercept. So again, if x is 0 there, a, b, c all falls away. I'm left with negative 16, so that's 0, negative 16, 1 mark. Or as I said, y-intercept, x is 0, so that becomes 0 cubed, 0 squared, 0. So that gives me 0 plus 0 minus 0 stays 0, minus 16 gives me negative 16, becomes 0 and negative 16. Right, now you see we haven't given you coefficients, we just gave you variables in the place of the coefficients. So here we test using function notation. Alright, so let's look at the second problem. Write down the coordinates of the x-intercept if f negative 2 equal f2 equal f negative half equals 0. So I'm technically saying f of x equals 0. So y is 0. F of x is 0. So y is 0. F of x is 0. So y is 0. So therefore, my coordinates is then, my x value there is minus 2 and 0. Positive 2 and 0. And minus half and 0. So I hope you follow. In the bracket, we always put the x value. And the fact that the answer is 0 then means this is a x-intercept. Right? So therefore, minus 2 and 0, 2 and 0, and minus half and 0. We're going to use this later on when we ask you to draw and so on. When I do the progression practice worksheets, you want to work through that. Alright? But there 1 mark for each intercept, so that is 3 marks. Right, let's look at question number 7. Given f of x equal ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus 12, write down the coordinates of the y-intercept for 1 mark. So y-intercept x equals 0, so that becomes a times 0 cubed plus b times 0 squared plus c times 0 plus 12. So that becomes 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 0, 12. So therefore my coordinate is 0 and 12. 1 mark, alright? Now let's look at the x-intercepts. So write down the coordinates of the x-intercept. Again, if f negative 2, so my x value there is given as negative 2 equal f1. My x value there is given as 1 equal f6, my x value being 6. And all of this equal to 0. So for each one it equals 0. So because that equals 0, this means minus 2, 1, and 6 are all 3 x-intercepts. So therefore, first coordinate, minus 2 and 0, 1 and 0, and 6 and 0. 1 mark for each coordinate. Alright, look at number 8. Given fx equal ax cubed plus bx squared plus kx plus 8, write down the coordinates of the y-intercept. Again, the constant there will always be the y-intercept, no matter which equation I work with, right? So there, whatever doesn't have the variable x next to it, that would be my y-intercept. So y-intercept x equals 0 becomes a 0 cubed, b 0 squared, k times 0 plus 8, which then simply stays 8. So my y-intercept is 0 and 8 for 1 mark. Right? Then write down the coordinates of the x-intercept. If f1, so x is given as 1, equal f4, where my x value is 4, equals 0. Alright? So technically I'm saying f1 equals 0 and f4 equals 0. So when my y value is 0, these are x-intercepts. So my x-intercept 1 and 0 and 4 and 0. I hope you enjoy the video lesson. Know you're going to like it and know you're going to share it. I'm grateful that I'm able to help you. Wish you nothing but the best. Practice. I'm going through as many exam variations as possible to make sure you don't get caught out in your prelim exams and your final exams. God bless. Bye.